And welcome back to the RCFL podcast. This week we got week 11. Sorry about last week, we missed it. Been super busy with the peeps. This week we got Hallie Bombin, Seth the new guy, and we got me Chubbs
Yeah,
as usual. Um, and you know what? I think let's go ahead and start talking about rankings this week. Um, what do we think about Ohio State being number one?
honestly,
That's the
Washington
straightforward.
or Penn State probably should be ahead of them, but this is the polls, and probably there should be better teams ahead of them, but bias at this point.
I agree. Ohio
I won't lie.
State's just Ohio State's just not great team. I mean, obviously they're gonna stay up there in the top 5 teams, just considering this is a side league. It's gonna be full of terrible teams, but Ohio State is one team that I cannot count on making the championship or even getting past the second round. It's not happening. Ohio State is an awful atrocity of a team, and it's just not. It's not happening. They're not going anywhere.
Death to Ohio.
Yeah. And then, are we going to talk about what a game between Oregon and Washington? What a game.
I know. That shit's an
Oregon
upset.
probably
That's
talking to a lot of people.
Dude, that was a crazy game. 31-30 with an upset from an unranked team to the number 1 team, Washington, which that doesn't really tank their playoff thing. That will actually really help them, considering they're going to play
That helped
a way
Oregon a
easier
lot,
team.
actually.
They're going to play a way easier team. But that did help out Penn State and um
Ohio.
Ohio State,
Ohio.
considering that Washington beat Penn State.
We're talking about teams that this helps, but unranked Oregon went from unranked to 17th now, and they might actually have a chance to make the playoffs if they have a good run here at the end of the season.
I mean, if they win these next 2 games, I mean, they got a good shot. They just got to beat another good team. Now, I think something that could let's talk about Penn State's consistency. Penn State has consistently been top 3 and usually number 2 seeds since for like a couple weeks in a row. Yo, Hallie, what are we looking at, bro?
What? I'm looking straight at the
Oh,
camera,
okay,
dude.
sorry. All right. Penn State's been doing great. I'm not gonna harp on it too much just because I am part of Penn State and I'll get called for glaze. So we move on from
Thank you.
that. What's another big thing that we can see in the rankings?
Oregon can go on a run. They can.
Look at Indiana.
Indiana.
You can look
Fuck
at
you.
Indiana here. They're in the
Yeah,
14th spot here. They could move up.
Here's the thing though, they're playing Penn State. They've got Penn State this week. It's either
This is pretty much
they beat Penn
playoffs or
State
not.
or this is their playoff game. If they beat Penn State, they make the playoffs most likely. If they don't beat Penn State, they do not. They don't got a shot. They're gonna drop so far.
But let's talk about Penn State here. If Penn State loses this game, how far can we see them fall in the rankings there if they lose to this team? Could they fall down?
6 or 7.
All right, bro. Nah,
No, don't.
realistically, I could see Penn State fall into like 11 if they lose to this team. I don't realistically see them losing to Indiana. It's a possibility though. Indiana is a team that we could look out for though. I really want to keep my eyes on Oregon and Ole Miss though. I think Ole Miss is a sneaky team just like Oregon. Yeah. And we're gonna on that in note, we're gonna jump over to more playoff early brackets and we'll see how that goes.
The 8 seed right here. So depending on whoever wins this game, this could be either make or break for the playoffs here. Whoever wins that one.
And now we've got what at current rankings, what the current playoff picture would look like. And I know the face cams are blocking a little bit. I'll move them. But here at the 1 seed, we have Ohio State currently. 2 seeds Penn State, 3 seeds Iowa, 4 Washington. And down here at the 5, we have South Carolina. Big jump here. We're seeing
And
South
Kentucky.
Carolina. South Carolina's looking all right. Tell you what. And then at the 6th seed, we've got Vanderbilt. And the 7th seed, we got Texas. I don't realistically see Texas doing great.
Hey, that's a prime tonight this week. That's a primetime game too.
I realistically don't see Texas doing anything. And then
Oh,
but
you
right
never know.
now, technically, 10 seed is not Missouri, but Missouri did. Who did they just beat, Seth?
Missouri to the Ole Miss.
Missouri beat Ole Miss, which is we think there'll be a great jump for Missouri to get back in here. And then the 11 seed is Wisconsin here, and Kentucky sneaks in at the 12 seed. First team out is Minnesota. Second team out is Indiana. And we're going to move over to the RCFL podcast prediction playoff, full playoff. And now, at the 12 seed. Oh, sorry, second team out. Texas A&M. First team out, Ole Miss. How are we feeling about that? I think those are both pretty good guesses.
I feel that's pretty good, especially because Ole Miss gets to play the 19th seed Arkansas here. Which if last week they're just coming off of a loss last week, but if we look at 19th ranked Arkansas playing them this week, if they get that win, they could have a chance to be into the playoffs here for a late run. So watch it for Arkansas there.
And now we have the 12 seed, Minnesota. RCFL podcast has Minnesota making the playoffs at the 12 seed. I think this is a big guess for us. I think this is a great pick. Minnesota is looking really solid, and I think Minnesota's going to make the playoffs here. And now
exactly. I even could see them winning the Rutgers game.
They could, and even now at the 11th seed, Iowa. I see Iowa making the playoffs. They just had a rough couple of games, man. And I'm gonna move these cameras so that we can see these a little better.
They're not the most surprise. They're not the most wow, they're a really good team that's in the top 4, but there's been getting some. They've won some games, so now they're up there. But I feel like they're maybe more of a regular season team than a playoff team.
Yeah. And now we got the 10 seed up in your top right here. We've got Kentucky. That's a big take.
Yeah,
That's a big take. I will say, I think the transfer with Katana coming from Texas A&M is a big move for him, considering that they moved up in the rankings because of it. I think it's a great move by Katana as an FO to take that chance, and they took it, and it's a great opportunity, and we're going to put Kentucky at the 10 seed. For our 9 seed, we've got Bauer. Wisconsin. We've got Wisconsin. Wisconsin, here in the 9 seed. It's a big take. I think Wisconsin's pretty solid, though. Yeah. The 8 seed playing against Wisconsin. This is supposed to be one of the closest matchups. We've got Rutgers. Rutgers really solid. They're pretty solid.
I feel like in this Minnesota and Rutgers could be interchangeable in this bracket. I think it'll really base off who wins this game this week. I think that will really base off who gets the 8 seed or the 11 or the last seed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I guess we could see probably Rutgers just getting that last seed in the playoffs, especially if they do lose this week. They probably could just sneak into the last seed in the last week of the season.
Yeah. Now we've got the 7 seed playing against Kentucky in the first round of the playoffs. We've got Michigan. Now, I have very low standards for Michigan here. Michigan is not a great team considering the fact that Ohio State just absolutely slaughtered them. That was awful. And
Expose them.
And I think if this is a first round matchup, I see Kentucky most likely beating the crap out of Michigan. And at the 6th seed, here in your bottom right, we'll move Hallie for a little bit. The 6th seed, Ohio State, making an appearance.
Fuck.
It's kind of the same as when we were talking about Iowa here. They're not the most shocking team right now. I know they're the 1 seed, but there's been a lot of circumstances that got them there. But I definitely do think a lot of these teams that we put ahead of them in this bracket can definitely beat them.
Yeah.
So.
And now at the 5 seed, we've got. God dang it. Texas.
So we're back to technical difficulties.
Big Texas.
Yeah, Longhorn. Yeah. Especially if they win against Vanderbilt this week. They could even be higher than this ranking, but
yeah, I think Jacob is gonna have to carry that team. Jacob's on Texas, but Jacobs is gonna have to carry that team. Jacob's really solid. But yeah. And now we move on to our top 4 teams. And at the
Who will be the bye week?
4 seed, we have the South Carolina Gamecocks making your
This
top 4.
shit. South Carolina fan. We know
They're the
you this.
50 yards right now. This week they play Illinois, and they're not even ranked. Illinois is not ranked, so South Carolina should have an easy win this week. And then if they take it through next week, they definitely could be a top 4 team this season.
They honestly could. I feel like the only way that this can happen is Ohio State fucking chokes.
Yeah. And now
Jump right in for
3 seed time. 3 seed time. We've got
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. That is I felt so proud putting Vanderbilt here at the 3 seed. I think Vanderbilt is a very good team. That has so much potential if they had joined earlier in the season. But Vanderbilt is an amazing team. I think Vanderbilt could make a really solid run in the playoffs. But they're going to have to get past really good teams. Just like
and again, I talked about Rutgers and Minnesota. I feel like whoever wins this prime time game probably will switch between the 5th and the 3rd seed. Because if the Longhorns beat Vanderbilt here, I feel like they definitely could be in that 3 seed. But if Vanderbilt at home here, they do have home advantage, so anything can happen.
Yeah. And now our 2 seed reveal. Penn State Nittany Lions. I don't think Penn State has that kind of level. They are a very good team. Washington has that little step above that they're going to have to find out. Penn State's just going to have to claw back in that game whenever they play. And it's going to be a slaughter. It's just going to be going. And as we all know, who the number 1 seed is, we got Washington. Washington is an all-around great team.
They move off Oregon.
All-around great team. They did lose to Oregon, but I think they had some problems happen that did not go their way. Starters not showing up, etc. But this is I feel like this is the most locked team. This is the most locked position, I feel.
And if I'm Washington fans right now, I'd be worried if the Oregon gets into the playoffs here and ends up being on their side of the bracket, considering what happened last week with them losing. So, and Oregon still has a chance to definitely make the playoffs here, 17th seed at the moment. They're not that far off the playoffs, especially if they beat the 25th ranked UCLA this week. That would be definitely a great thing on their resume going into the last week of the season.
Yeah. And now, don't think we're done. We've filled this whole thing out. And for our Washington, I think it's either Washington, Rutgers game, or Texas, I believe. One of the two. It is Texas. Texas is going to beat Minnesota and move on to the second round against South Carolina with a 4-5 matchup, and that will be a really good game. And next we have, this is Washington. What's up?
Yeah. Honestly, Texas beating Minnesota is not much of a shocker. Minnesota's not even in the playoff at the moment, and Texas is already 7 seed at the moment, so it's going to be much of a shocker that we picked Texas to beat Minnesota here.
Yeah. And now we've got Washington and Rutgers. This is going to be our closest game in the playoffs, I believe, other than the Natty. This is going to be
You didn't update it.
Rutgers.
Right.
Rutgers is going to take this over Wisconsin. It's going to be a slug out, and it's just going to be a great game overall. I think Rutgers just has that little edge over Wisconsin, and we'll see what happens. Next, we've got Ohio State versus Iowa.
Probably Ohio State.
We've got Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, we see Iowa going over Ohio State. This is a big take, but I think Iowa can do it.
Iowa, Ohio State should be a good game. Both those teams, both top 3 teams in the league right now. I know it's a tough thing to say. We're saying they're going to be what do we say? They're going to be the 8th and the 10th seed. Though we said
it's the 11th and 6th.
11th and 6th seed, but Iowa plays Purdue this week. They're not strong, but I think strength of schedule will come in here, and but Iowa definitely probably has a better resume than Ohio State. So yeah.
Next, we've got Kentucky and Michigan. As we talked about this earlier, Michigan, we don't have high hopes in Michigan. and this is just obvious. Kentucky's gonna obliterate Michigan. This is gonna be a slug out, and Kentucky's gonna destroy them.
As we talked about Katana, especially the transfer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see Katana.
Here
I can see Katana stepping up against it in that game and becoming a leader and doing good in that game. Now I don't know which one's next. I believe it's South Carolina, and Texas, but we'll find out. Oh, it's Washington. Washington.
Yeah,
Obviously, this is
but
obvious.
Washington.
This is obvious. We don't need to really talk about this. Washington is gonna beat the brakes
It's
off of
Washington.
Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers just be happy we made it.
Yeah. Whoever's the 9 and 8 seed, I mean, they're playing in a game to get to the next round, and then they're just playing Washington. I mean, you can't do much about it. Honestly, if you're a 9 or 8 seed currently, you might want to tank to get past Washington, or even try to win more games to get out of that 9 or 8 seed. Could be smart. But there's no chance you're winning as a 9 and 8 seed beat Washington unless you're like that same team and forfeit loss in the playoffs. They did
Just
that
like
last
Ted.
year. They did that last year. Who knows? Next, we've got South Carolina and Texas. We've got South Carolina.
That or slot win.
We've got South Carolina. South
I feel
Carolina.
like this will be a close game.
What's up?
I feel like this will definitely be a close game against Texas here. I feel like Texas will make a run for their money, but I think South Carolina's just that little bit better than them. They'll get those last minute plays where they need to score.
Yeah. Now I believe it's Kentucky, Penn State. Penn State over Kentucky.
Yeah.
I think that's just.
Not
I mean,
much
it's a
else.
great. It's not gonna be. It could be close if Penn State just
I mean-
does not use their brains, but it's Penn State, man. It's Penn State.
I mean, it's Katana's team from Texas A&M that they bought and transferred all of their players to Kentucky because they already had a bad record. It's just going to be the same outcome as it was when they were Texas A&M.
This is what we had in the
Also-
other bracket. Texas A&M winning their first round, and I mean, this is what we had in our other bracket. Texas A&M making it through the first round and then just getting obliterated by the top 4 seed. I mean, it's just bound to happen. I don't think Kentucky / Texas A&M has that kind of talent, considering the fact that I have talked to Quintana personally, and he said he does not have that stable wide receiver one that he really needs. I mean, he has a considerational bad wide receiver core, and his starters never show. So
Yeah, that's right. So now we're off to Vanderbilt and Iowa.
off to Vanderbilt and Iowa. I mean, I hyped Vanderbilt up way too much not to move them on. Vanderbilt's just gonna mop the floor with Iowa. This is gonna be so much more of a slaughterfest than Washington and Rutgers. Vanderbilt is just gonna mop the floor with Iowa. It's gonna be.
And we
It's
get
gonna be so
that
bad.
Iowa. We get Iowa as a 3 seed right now, but with Vanderbilt, we feel it's just a more stronger team overall, and that we think they're gonna probably win it all. Not win it all, but they'll definitely have a good shot at it.
Yeah. And now we move to Washington and South Carolina. All right, this is
Washington.
This is just
Skip past it.
Sorry, Penn State, Vanderbilt. That's gonna be a really good game, but Penn State's gonna claw out of it. And we all know Washington. It's gonna be Washington, Penn State, and let me move.
And now Penn State versus Washington. This will be a pretty good game. But
you already saw this matchup before. Washington and Penn State played each other already. Washington already won, but didn't have all of their starters that game. They still kept it very close. So imagine a Penn State team with all of their starters versus a Washington team with all their starters. That's going to be a high scoring game, maybe 70-70, 77-70, almost maybe 100 points scored by both teams.
Well, you got to remember, Penn State has the best defense in the league. Penn State's defense is really good. But as we are going to reveal it, we're going to reveal it. All right. We have Penn State winning the Natty over Washington. I think this will be the best Natty in all of history. Last year's Natty wasn't great. It was all right. But I think Penn State will claw away and win this.
I think Washington or Penn State could come out of this win, but it's just going to come down to who has the most starters there, who's being more efficient with their drives, and who can just make those plays you need to make in the Super Bowl. that just put your team over the other team.
Yeah.
So we'll see, because you never know. I know a couple of seasons ago, a lot of teams forfeit loss in the playoffs. So you never know. So let's see. 2 weeks
They
to
could-
playoffs. So
Who knows?
Alrighty, I think that's gonna wrap it up
Wrap
for
it
week
up.
11. We will see you guys next week for week 12, and what will be the final playoff format. We will see who makes the playoffs next week.
Update. Yeah.
And the awards will also be shown. We'll do an update on that. And we will see you guys next time. See you later.